And here we go.
Sorry, I just wanted to put some pressure on him. Are we on? Are we live?
In a few seconds, yes.
Oh, okay. And it's Alan Bensing.
Bensing, yes.
Bensing, okay.
Bensing, yep.
No, we're live now.
Excellent. Welcome everybody to Fight Talks, provided to you or presented by Peoria Martial Arts Forum and Michael Price with Core Fitness. So today we have Alan Bensing. He's going to be fighting under the Core Fitness banner on July 26th. He's one of our amateur bouts. Alan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me so much. Appreciate it.
So I want to know just like a little bit more about you. So you're at Core Fitness right now. So where's that at?
So they have two locations. Their main location is in East Peoria, but then they have a fighting gym that's actually out in Morton. And so that's where I train out of. It's about 15 minutes away from where I live in Washington. And yeah. So I've been doing it since 2020. January 2020 is when I joined that gym and started my journey. And I started sparring less than a year after that, and finally got my first fight in July of last year, actually.
Oh, dude, you're bold. Yeah, because I started training and I'm like, I want to do a fight within like a year, and then I got like 3.5 years in. I'm like, I'm not ready.
Yeah. I definitely had to put. There was definitely a lot of courage that went into it, and a lot of training, of course. But I wanted to make sure that I was ready. And my first fight lasted 1 minute and 4 seconds, and my hands were up at the end of that fight.
Yeah. So how did you make the decision? How did you know that you were ready for that first AM bout?
Well, just conversations with my coach, and then of course training. Doing the sparring sessions and things like that, and just kind of realizing where I actually fit as a masters boxer. And coach said I was ready. And so we started looking for fights. I believe that was actually in 22 that we started actually looking for fights, but because I'm a masters boxer, it actually makes it pretty difficult to find opponents, because they want to match you first with of course your age, second your weight, but then the next one is experience, and that's kind of the one that's a little bit tougher. Is you want to have someone that has 0 to 3 fights, and then once you have 3 fights, they want someone to have 4 to 6 fights, and then try to keep you within your same experience level as well. And there's not too many 40-year-olds that have less than 10 fights under their belt, and so finding those guys were kind of tough. And
who's your coach?
It's Mike Price.
Mike is dude, he's your actual like trainer. So you're like going into the gym, you're seeing Michael Price every day. Wow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's your big takeaway from working with Michael Price in terms of your boxing?
My takeaway with training with Coach is I don't ever want to be on that dude's bad side.
Yeah, I tried
honestly, he's one of the reasons why I wanted to train with him is because he's a skilled mixed martial artist. He was a professional kickboxer. From what I understand, he was 4-0 before he retired. And yeah, just an absolute beast, and he's a great guy. Actually, my wife is the one that hooked me up with the gym.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, because everyone's like, "What's your wife think of this?" And
right, my wife hates it. Like, she's like, "If you fight, I will go, but I'm gonna cry the whole time." Like, watch the pay-per-view
camera on Facebook Live when I do my fights and cheering my name.
Oh, dude, that's awesome. So how did you when was the moment when you were like I know I'm ready? Because your coach can say you're ready all day long, but if you don't feel ready and you're not mentally prepared, what was the moment for you when you're like, I got this?
You know what? When we started looking for fights about 2 years ago, I was getting in the ring with people that were pretty tough individuals, and I held my own really well. When I originally got into this, that wasn't even my goal. I wasn't even trying to get into the ring. Honestly, I just wanted to learn how to strike and get into shape. I was fairly unhealthy at the time when I started this journey, and I got to a point where I was good enough to go toe to toe with some of the best fighters. And then, as you know, there's a lot of good fighters in Central Illinois, and I was holding my own pretty well, and especially as a boxer. That's it's one of those sports that it's tough to compete in that, and so I took it and ran with it, really.
That was actually how I knew I wasn't ready, was when KOK came to the kickboxing classes we were in, and I just got lit up. It didn't matter who they were. They could be, working with them for 3 or 4 months, and they would come in and just footwork all around me and just land shots that I never even imagined could happen.
Yeah. Yep. And that's why kickboxing gyms should be really arms wide open for boxers, because your hands are going to be a lot different than using your feet also. And so, yeah, it's and to be able to have a kickboxer that actually knows how to box is a rarity and gold, really.
I would say, yeah, that's a great foundation, especially if you're, somebody's wanting to get into mixed martial arts or just, kickboxing. Like, I think Luke Lessie just fought a couple of days ago. He's fighting for the one championship. He's nice. Working with Dean Lessie out of Iowa. He comes into Peoria Muay Thai, and he's done a couple. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was actually really funny. The day that he came in, it was him, and I think his dad were there, and there was like 50 people there. There was they stacked this gym just wall to wall, right. And at the end of it, they took a picture. And I was being a doofus, and I was sitting right next to him, and I put my leg up, my knee right next to his face. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have my knee right next to his face in this picture, and then waited for them to drop it. They never did. I never got to see that picture. I was so salty.
Wow, Phil.
Whoops.
Whatever. He's my favorite professional fighter to watch right now. Is
okay. All right.
I don't even care about any of that stuff. He's awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we got a lot of great skill. Blackerby is another one.
Oh, yeah. Yep, I've done some training with him. Yeah, he would come into the gym every now and again with was it Nate? Yeah, Nate Gaston and his boys. Will, his youngest one. He helped me so much with my Muay Thai. It's in my elbows, and yeah, man,
excellent.
Dude, he would just help me fix these little things in my game that I couldn't even see. No, man, you need to stand like this. Hey, when you're throwing your right hit, just make sure you're rolling your hip over so you're not losing any of that power. I'm man.
yeah. It's amazing what technique will do to your power. If you have the right technique, man, yeah, you're gonna hit a lot harder.
Now, have you gotten to spar with Thomas, the big Blackerby?
No, I have not. No, I haven't had an opportunity to. There hasn't been. I haven't seen him over at our gym because right now they're training. They're doing sparring sessions on Tuesdays over at our gym because we have a little bit bigger ring. And but yeah, I haven't seen him yet.
I say he's it's fun. He's fun, but heavy hands.
Oh, heavy hands. I bet. Yeah, it'd be great. And with the amount of punches, I'm sure he'd be able to throw and able to cut. His footwork, I'm sure, is flawless.
I kid you not about this. I saw him give.
Was that on you?
I attended a training session with Luke Lessie.
Did I lose you?
I saw Thomas give Luke Lessie a bloody nose.
What?
Sorry.
It broke up and sped up a whole bunch. You said he popped Luke Lessie in the nose?
Yeah, I saw Thomas pop Luke Lessie in the nose.
Uh-oh, we got some. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I can see. Hey, I wanted to ask you something. So when you first got into boxing, you were saying that you were kind of living an unhealthy lifestyle. Tell me a little bit about that. So what were you doing then that you perceived as unhealthy, and how did boxing affect it or impact you?
I'm actually my sport growing up is hockey, and so I was and I used to donate blood, and
Oh,
so oddly enough, those two actually there's a landing page with those two, but so I got my finger pricked to donate blood, and I was severely anemic. I would go out on, in the third, or actually in the first period of playing hockey, and I'd come off that first shift as if it was late in the third period. Like I was just dead. And so I was like, I just kind of chalked it up to, maybe I'm, just getting older and this is just what it is. And then that's when I found out that I was anemic. And actually I eat food really late. And so if you're familiar with acid reflux or GERD, something like that,
I have GERD.
I'd wake up in the middle of the night and my throat would just be, I'd be coughing hysterically, and it would have the most disgusting taste in my throat and all that stuff. And so they ran a bunch of tests and found out that I was actually bleeding from my throat into my body. And because that's how bad it was. And because usually when they say when you're anemic, it means you're bleeding on, in your body somewhere. And they found it in my throat. And so I had to change everything. So I was eating better. I needed to start exercising. My background is actually kinesiology. I'm
what's kinesiology?
Study of human movement.
Oh. I was gonna say that sounds like kinetic, and that makes sense.
Yeah, kinesiology. Yeah, physical movement. Yep. And so personal training. And so that's
where'd you go to school for that?
Background. And so I had to change my diet. I had to change everything. And the irony of me being a personal trainer, I hated working out. I always hated working out, but I loved playing sports. And so playing sports was kind of my deal. And, I was actually standing in front of the mirror, looking at myself sideways, getting the gut out there. And I'm just like, I was just despised in how I looked. And I'm not kidding you. This also goes into one of the reasons why I love my wife so much. Quit being a little bitch. Do something about it.
She told you
what
that?
She said to me. And she was sick of hearing it. She was sick of hearing it. And so I was like, but what do I do?
Sounds like you heard it that time.
Yeah. Oh, I heard it loud and clear.
She
started suggesting, she was like, how about, what's that, Ashman?
I shouldn't laugh at what you just said, but I am.
Oh no.
Did we lose him again?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh. No, it's true. That's why I said it, because it's one of those things where it's not a very typical scenario. It's not a typical scenario at all. And so because I hated working out so much, I wanted to find a sport where I could be engaged and like it. And so I was like, I always just wanted to learn how to strike. And she said, come to CORE, have a personal trainer, teach you how to do all that stuff. And so, I gave it a try. And actually I started out with, he actually lives down in Peoria, Arizona now, but his name is Jay. I started out with Jay, and he did all the basics with me. So he taught me the jab, the hook, the uppercut, how to, step with your left and follow with your right, and doing the kinds of basic footwork. That got me up until the summer. And that's when he moved his family down to Arizona. And that's when I picked up working with Michael Price. And so so I originally went in with him to learn kickboxing, and so to incorporate the boxing in with the kickboxing, and learn hip movement, knees, elbows, all the things. And he had a couple local boxers that needed a sparring partner, and he said, would you be interested in sparring with these guys? And I was like, yeah,
Brave.
Why not? yeah, let's give it a try. Let's see what it is. And I fell in love with it. I got the absolute snot beat out of me, but I fell in love with it, and I came to a moment where I got done sparring, and I looked myself in the mirror, and I said, Alan, either you want to do this, like where you're going to have to work way more harder than what you're doing currently, or get out of this. And I wasn't ready to give it up. So that's when I started running, taking it more serious, was doing a lot more, the typical things that you're supposed to do, like shadow boxing and,
I love shadow boxing.
Yeah. And really starting to get that coordination down. I'm still working on it, of course. I'm not saying I have it by any means. But that's truly when I was like, you know what, I could probably do something with this.
I mean, when it comes to boxing, I literally learn something new every single day.
Same.
But I don't have my home gym set up, so I haven't had a place where I can go and like consistently practice. Like before, I had, like, you see the bag behind me, I had one of these sitting down, and I had it hanging, and I would just do leg kicks all day long. It was my favorite thing to do. And then I was done with my one switch, and I'd do my switch kicks. Then I was around. Oh, dude, I just loved hitting the bag. It was my favorite thing. And pad work is just an absolute blast. And I just get so sweaty and drenched.
Oh, yeah.
And, oh man, feels so good going home after that day. And like stretching after one of those workouts is just like, oh.
Absolutely.
What's your diet like right now? So like, what are you eating right now, like leading up to the fight?
I'm trying to stick with a lot of protein, actually a lot of tacos, honestly, like, cause it's easy. It's easy food. You got protein, you got a little bit of dairy, and you got a little bit of carbs.
And they're complex carbs if you do it right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and throwing the vegetables, I eat fruit. I have to take glutamine as a supplement to help with that muscle recovery. But that's pretty much all I take. That's pretty much all I do with that. And
what does the glutamine do?
It's literally a muscle recovery, and it's for us old people. It's
okay.
I'm old. Takes longer to recover, and so it I don't know exactly what goes into it, of course, but yeah, it's for muscle recovery.
And say, hopefully you don't get a John Jones situation. And
no, nothing anabolic or anything like that. I would never touch that stuff, because then you're just cheating yourself.
Well, he said he never touched it either.
Yeah,
I understand. Hey, did anybody see the Masvidal Diaz fight?
Diaz? Yeah, I heard about it. I heard about it.
I know. I heard about it after it was already done, and I'm like, what? It's like a fight I actually want to support.
You know who made the most money?
I did see
Conor McGregor.
Yep. He's the OG. He's the original.
Right.
Like you jump over, and this drives me nuts that you have to have these UFC guys. They're not getting paid enough to do their job within the UFC, so they have to jump over, not just to a different promotion, because you can't with the way the contracts work. You have to jump to a whole different sport in order to make enough money to survive.
Yep, unless you're Francis Ngannou.
Dude, that guy is a master class in contract negotiations. I'm so proud of that guy.
So I was very impressed with him against Tyson Fury, but the way the Anthony Joshua fight went is the way I pictured the Fury fight with him going. But he went the distance with Fury. He won that fight. If Fury would not have been the champion, I don't think they would have given him that fight, honestly. He's
the moneymaker. Like that, there's a reason everybody's going to him. You give him a loss, then suddenly your golden goose egg is gone, or could potentially be gone, depending on who you've got around him.
So brutal.
Yeah,
that was crazy. But yeah, Francis Ngannou really impressed me. Really impressed me with against Tyson Fury. But then second round against AJ just he just dropped that. He dropped his his lead hand too much and just right over the top, whack. And that's good night.
Yeah, it was like the Mike Bisping and Luke Rockhold. Like that's what he says about that fight. He was watching him just do some sparring beforehand, And he just kept dropping his right hand every time he would throw something. She's like, all right, I'm going to throw a right hand all day after this. So he put one up and then cracked him and put him down. I was like, woohoo, game plan, man. I love it.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Oh, I wanted to ask you something. What was it? It was, what do you do for work right now? What's your career?
So I actually, I'm a sales guy. And so I'm a sales executive for Chicago Title. And so my job is literally to bring business into Chicago Title. I talk with realtors, investors, bankers, pretty much anybody. If you're going to buy or sell real estate in Peoria, Bloomington, Springfield, or Champaign area, talk to me because I actually have meaning Chicago Title have 9 different apps to help realtors out there bring business in and help their business. Yeah. And
how long have you been doing that for?
6 years. Yeah, I've been doing that 6 years and absolutely love it. I've been in sales my entire adult career. But you usually bounce around in sales jobs, but I found my home.
See, I would love you to take some of that sales personality and then put it out there in the ring somehow, like, WWE character.
Yeah. If there were heels and good guys, in boxing or something like that, yeah, maybe. But yeah,
I mean, there kind of are. You've got Jake Paul. Everybody wants to see him get knocked out.
No doubt. I
still think that the Tyrone that was fake. He dropped his hand on purpose. Logan Paul knew it was coming. Like it was almost like it was like timed up. Like it was too perfect.
Yeah. There's definitely some shenanigans going on, but I do think that Jake Paul is a legit boxer. I don't know about if he went onto the pro circuit though. He would have a much tougher time. He's fighting all these washed up UFC guys, and and look what happened when he fought Tommy Fury, an actual boxer.
Yeah. The one actual boxer, pure boxer, who is less than 30 years old.
Right, but I'm not here to blast Jake Paul. I can't stand his content. He's one of those cringy, But as far as a legit boxer, he is a legit boxer.
Yeah, but when did that happen? Because it didn't happen in the beginning, and he keeps putting these little asterisks because I don't know, man. I feel like if he could go up against a legit boxer and knock him out, or at least get yourself to a decision. I don't know.
Well, Phil, if you had millions of dollars and you had nothing better to do all day than train boxing, you'd be a beast too.
I'd be a troll. I would be the biggest troll on earth if I were Jake Paul. I'd be doing exactly what he's doing. I'd be talking tons of mad shit to everyone in the hopes that they would come and fight me, and then I wouldn't get knocked out because I'm Jake Paul.
Honestly, honestly, what he's done for boxing, my hat's off to him. And so that's what I mean. I can't stand the guy, but damn it, he's got eyes that follow him. He's got those eyes that follow him, and
I think we have to thank Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor for that, because neither one of those Jake Paul or Logan Paul I don't think would have made a successful jump into boxing or martial arts had that fight not been a success. I mean, what?
I agree.
$100 million. Oh, that's a disgusting amount of money.
Well, I mean, what Floyd's making the best money that he's ever made against people that he's going to absolutely decimate.
It's a win-win-win for him.
Right.
As long as they get through contract negotiations, he's just I just got pile of bricks of money.
Yep. Tell me where to sign, because I'm not sure where to sign.
Well, he's got to keep fighting though too, because he keeps blowing all of his money on betting.
Right.
Or $14 million in the Super Bowl that one year.
Oh my God, I don't know. That just irritates me hearing that kind of thing. It's
it hurts my soul. $14 million.
Right. And here I am struggling to pay my $250,000 house mortgage.
Yeah, give me $14. I'll be happy. I'll put it in my gas tank.
There you go.
The thing is, I think what Jake
hook a brother up. Come on, spare me $1 million.
I think what Jake
take a bet on me.
Right. I think what Jake Paul needs.
No, go ahead, Don. True. Sorry.
What Jake Paul needs to learn at this point is humility. Sorry. I mean, the man, like all the.
You're not wrong.
I mean, all the greats have lost to somebody. Well, except for Rocky Marciano, but he died in a plane crash, so that doesn't count. The thing is, like, Mike Tyson considered.
Yeah, he lost that one.
Mike Tyson
lost to a plane crash.
Mike Tyson considered his loss to Buster Douglas a humbling experience. Like Muhammad Ali lost to.
It should.
I mean, the fact hasn't lost yet. He hasn't learned that humility.
Yeah, was it Joe Frazier? Was that who he lost to? We were talking about that.
So.
Yes. Yeah, I was going to look it up, and I still haven't looked it up. What's wrong with me?
It's all right. It's all right. You can just say that, and we'll just play. Yes, Joe Frazier. Yes. Okay. All right.
So tell me, do you have any like boxers that you follow or anybody that you like to watch? To give you inspiration?
So I like to watch like the taller fighters because I'm 6 foot. So like your Larry Holmes.
What's your wingspan?
I have no clue. I don't know what
your reach is. Oh,
I don't know what my reach is. It's long. And he's about that far away. Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk about that. I got a whole. So part of what I do is I got a technology business that I'm working on where we're putting together essentially a bag that you can put up on the wall, and we can gather that data for people so they can know their height, weight, wingspan, and also compare it up against other amateur, professional, or even just novices. But then we're going to build in the punching power component. Yes, you got it.
There we go.
Jab, cross, hook, and then your uppercuts. And then we're going to build a Muay Thai version of it so you can build in your teep kicks and some other fun stuff. So that is coming down. You know, Michael is actually he's first on the list. So as soon as we finish that finish the 1.2 version of it, we're going to be rolling in there to do some beta testing. So you'll be one of the first fighters to have a crack at this thing.
Perfect. Well, because I mean, you see those machines with the hanging, and everyone's like, "Come on, dude, do it!" And it's like, do you want me to get the numbers up really high, or do you want me to actually throw a punch? Because I'm not going to throw a punch like how I would throw a punch in a fight, because as you know, if you're winding up to hit as hard as you can and you miss, you're going to get hurt. Yeah. And so I'm never going to throw a punch like that in a fight. But yeah, I mean, if you're just standing there, you're winding up, well, absolutely. Let's see.
Logan Paul broke his hand on one of those.
Makes sense.
He's just the way that it was set up. He wound up hitting it, and he missed, and he hit the wall. He broke his hand, and that was one of the things that I wanted to fix, because I'm like, these things they're not accurate, because like it's just a number. But it's not equated to anything. It's not a pounds of force. Like there's no way to know exactly how strong you are compared to other people, and then everybody has a different style too. If like you get some people who are like Taekwondo experts who can put on some pretty crazy kicks or capoeira, like that stuff, you land a kick on there, like you can drive those scores to oblivion. So part of what I'm doing is I built in cameras with an AI, artificial intelligence built into it, so we can determine what type of strike is being thrown on each one of the sensors too. So like you could go in there and do your whole like, let me kick the shit out of this and just max it out, but we're gonna know it's a kick.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Be like, nice kick, and be like, huh?
Yeah. You go in, you get an asterisk, and you go into a red category. Yeah, I'm just going to change everything.
Right.
As timeout.
A liar. That's awesome. I'd be down for that. There was I don't remember what show it was. It was like on the Learning Channel or something like that, and they did the different disciplines, and capoeira had the hardest kick, and and I was like, it was unbelievable. Just like it was just explosive. Just came up and smacked that thing, and and they even had a Taekwondo guy in there. I think they had.
He was like a 3-time national champion. Like I remember watching that. That was one of the things that I used in our design process, because we're like, how are they actually calculating the force with the bag and how they're hitting? And we realized that like you could do it in this enclosed environment and be able to get who struck harder. But if you were looking to do like a more comprehensive analysis and add more individuals, the data falls apart. Like the equipment they were using just isn't up to par. So that was the other aspect of it. We want something that's going to be incredibly accurate and consistent with the accuracy that you have out in the field. So then it plays to the gamification. You can track your own progress. Like if you like, and if I could have been able to see my own progress when I first started, just to know how hard my jab was going, if I was doing my footwork right, was I landing my overhand, was I really torquing it over with, when I'm throwing my lead hook, like if I knew all that stuff and I could see the progress, man, it would have been like jet
fuel. Be a game
to the fire.
Yeah, it'd be a game changer for real.
So I'll stop talking about me though. That's coming down the pipe. So tell me about who are you fighting on the 26th?
Well, actually, currently that is up for grabs right now. So Dexter O'Neill was lined up. He's with Pure Athletic Club, but he's also a local musician, and so he had to drop out a couple weeks ago, and we're actually in talks with a few different guys. There's one down in St. Louis. And Vicky's looking for a couple local guys as well. So as far as I know, currently, it's either someone in St. Louis or somebody else that's gonna be in my category. So yeah.
So what are you thinking? Like, would you prefer a taller fighter like you? Is that something you're like more used to, or would you prefer like a shorter fighter where you can like use your reach and height to your advantage?
If I had my druthers, I typically would choose to fight someone shorter than me. But that's actually how I got my last loss. The guy who I fought just this last weekend. Yeah, last weekend.
It was just this last weekend you fought?
Oh. Yeah.
Where at?
I was in Golden Gloves up in Chicago.
So was Joanne and Francis and all them there?
I don't think so. They weren't with me.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with who they are, but yeah. So I got a bye on Saturday, and so then I fought on Sunday. And the guy who I fought, his name is actually Philip. So thanks for that. Thanks for the reminder.
You're welcome. We got to battle through the CTE to get you that name
right. I know. Bringing flashbacks. But no, he was 7 years younger than me, so he was either 36 or 37. And
yeah, that's right. Me too. It wasn't me, was it? Like
no. He was not a white guy. So anyways, he's a pressure boxer just like me. I like to be, push forward and throw punches constantly. That's what he did, and he had a little bit more endurance than I did, and he was pushing a little bit more than I was. And so I was fighting on the back of my heels, whereas he was punching forward. I hit him about as many times as he hit me, but it was still a unanimous decision in his favor. And so, but you can't win them all. But hey, it was a great learning experience. It's going to teach me not to be just a pressure fighter, but also to take a step back. Let him maybe move left or right, switch up an angle, do switch it up a little bit as opposed to just.
I was just going to ask you, because like if it were me, like, and I like went in and I'm like, I'm going to be a pressure fighter, and I just started getting lit up, I'm like, I'm a counter fighter today.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I didn't make the change fast. I mean, you got 3 rounds, 2 2-minute, 3 2-minute rounds. So it unfortunately, it just wasn't my night. It wasn't my day. And so it is what it is. You learn your lessons and you keep going.
Man, so what do you think did it? Was it his left hand, his right hand? What brought it home?
They both hit me, so
it was just everything.
Yeah, and so it was like he didn't bloody me up. He gave me a few marks on my nose. I actually bloodied his lip, but again, it's not about the damage. It's about how many punches are thrown and landed, and then also it's going to depend on the judges, on what they see and what they like and what they don't like. And clearly, I did not show them something that they all liked.
What about the audience? What was the audience like there?
It was, I'm going to say probably about 150, 200 people, maybe. It wasn't as packed as I thought it was going to be, but it was actually up at the Cicero Stadium up there in Chicago.
Okay.
And yeah, and so it was mostly the boxers there and like their families or the people that are watching them. There was one guy that had this huge crowd. That was kind of cool.
I know there was somebody that was fighting in Golden Gloves this year that was like an up and comer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there was this one kid. I don't remember his name, but I guess he used to do karate, and he was wearing those the Thai kickboxer shorts where they has not English on the front of it.
Oh yeah.
I've got some.
There you go. And so he was wearing a pair of those, and I was like, this guy's either going to be really good or really bad. And he was coming in and out, and he was coming in, hit, and then he was out. Like he was amazing. He hardly got touched. I think I had to do something. I think I had to grab something from the car or something like that. But I think his corner, even the other guy's corner, threw in the towel, was basically like,
wow.
He's getting worked. He was getting worked. So it wasn't anything like that. No one got knocked out, and there weren't any TKO calls or nothing. They all pretty much go to decision.
I kind of like that because for that environment, like you still get those competitive rounds in the competitive match, but yeah, when you get like a Mike Tyson competitor that's just rolling through everybody, just knocking them out in the first round, it's like I don't know.
Well, that was my first two fights. When I had my first two fights up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in July of last year, my first fight lasted 1 minute and 4 seconds, TKO stop. I took him down. And then my second fight was on that Sunday, the next day, and I beat that dude in 45 seconds.
Dude, so you were the guy that was just cleaning people out.
That's amazing.
Yep. And then my third fight, that was in St. Louis against a gentleman. That one went all 3 rounds, and I got a unanimous decision on that one. Probably should have gotten a TKO call in both the second and the third round because he turned his back to me. I've seen Karate Kid Part 3 plenty of times. If you can't breathe, you're not gonna win. And he turned his back. He's like, I can't breathe. And so, I figured it was going to be, but they just give him a standing 8 count. And then he got to spend some time in his corner also, which I don't know how that happened, but it is what it is. And so, but yeah, all 4 of my fights are actually on my Facebook page. My wife does Facebook Live. And because I'm like, hey, might as well, right? I don't try to do like the hype myself up. I don't train, I don't train with the camera in my back and being like, yeah, watch this. I do the performance side of it. Like you can watch what I've trained for. And so good, bad, the ugly, you get to see it.
Well, see, that's the thing that I love about martial arts, mixed martial arts, boxing.
Yep. Hey, I'd like to know what boxing is. That'd be cool.
Hawk tour. Well, like what I found is like I forgot where I was going with that.
Well, you were talking about how you like those kinds of sports because probably it shows. It'll let someone know how much you've been working or not working.
You can't fake it. Like you can't fake it, man. Like you get into the ring, like you're gonna get exposed unless you're Jake Paul.
Yeah, you cannot fake endurance. You can't fake endurance. That's not something that you can just be like, oh yeah, I can run a mile in 5 minutes. Really?
Okay, Bruce Lee.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Prove it. Okay. My ankle isn't feeling well. That kind of stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much what I would do with training is just try to improve my 1 mile. That was kind of my mark, I guess. If you're trying, as long as I was improving my mile, then I knew that I was improving physically, in the endurance category.
Yeah. Road work I hear is very important. I've done it before, but not for long periods of time.
Well, and what a lot of people don't understand too is they're like, oh, well, yeah, I'll go for a 3-mile jog or a 5-mile jog or something like that. No, you got to do interval training. So that means sprint, jog, jog a little faster, sprint, jog. Like it's about change, because you have to mimic what you're going to be doing. And what are you doing when you're boxing? Your defense, go, defense. And so then you have to, you basically practice that on the road. That's what I would do. I sprint, jog, sprint, and just, yeah, you have to mimic what you're going to do. Otherwise your body's not going to be used to it. You beat yourself up more than that other guy's going to beat you up.
Oh, I wanted to ask you a little bit about equipment. What boxing gloves do you use?
I like Venom. I like the Venom gloves. They got a lot of really cool designs, and they're really well put together. Had some other ones that did not last very long. I can't think of the name, but they did not cost more than maybe $10 or $20. Those didn't last very long. And then my wife, she does kickboxing, and so she, yeah. Like I said, badass, man.
Is she gonna be fighting?
Huh?
Is she gonna be fighting anytime soon?
No. She doesn't. She just does the training stuff.
Come on, let's go to the TBAs next year. It'll be fun.
Yeah. Good luck on that one. But yeah, we found Venom, and yeah, I love that. I got a green and black pair, and got a blue and white pair, a pink and gold pair. Like, yeah, we like the Venom.
Yeah, what are you rocking on, Shuman?
Everest, I think that's what they're called.
Oh yeah, that's right. I had the I got them from
Everlast. Is it maybe Everlast?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I had a pair of those because they were the most expensive ones there. They were like $55, and I was like, "Oh, I'll just get these." And they were okay. I mean, they were like 16-ounce training gloves.
Yep.
Little big for me, but. And then I actually got some Venom gloves for my next pair. I love those things. They're so nice. They don't reek. They don't smell horrible. Like a lot of those gloves, if the different materials, they absorb a lot of the microbes and stuff around, and they get real stinky. But I found my Venoms I can just give them a little spray, and they're solid.
Yeah. My hockey gloves definitely don't have that. Those things stink. Whew.
Well, yeah, we were talking about your recovery and that stuff. What else do you do for recovery? Like, because I know for me, like when I've had like a hard workout and I'm like hurting. Yeah. I find like working out a little bit, or like at least warming up my muscles, can be like really helpful. Do you do anything like that?
Yeah, I actually, so my morning routine includes a 3-minute cold shower. And I crank it on as cold as it can get. As cold as it can get, and I do a round, and I actually brush my teeth with my non-dominant hand, so be my left hand, and so yeah, and then every once in a while I'll go outside and I'll walk on the ground without any shoes or socks, ground to the earth a little bit, do some breath work, and like I have one of those O2 trainers. From who is that? Boss Rudin. Boss Rudin has one, that O2 trainer thing. That thing's amazing. It really does help with lung endurance, and it really helps strengthen that diaphragm.
No kidding. I'm gonna have to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it. If you think about the lungs itself, when you expand it, it's because your diaphragm's pushing down, and so if you have a strong diaphragm, guess what? You're going to be able to pull in a whole lot more air. And then when you exhale, it's all going to, because you can't really control the exhale. It's all based on what you can control on the inhale. But yeah, they've been really amazing for me. And so that's the glutamine. I have protein powder, but I really don't mess with the protein powder much. I've been kicking around doing creatine, but that stuff made my stomach sore back in the day.
Creatine is actually will put H2O into your muscles, but what I found is that it'll actually the tendon part here. So you can actually lift a lot more when you're on creatine, but it doesn't strengthen the tendons that are going into your joints. So a lot of people get injured pretty hard on creatine because they're not using it properly or they're lifting too much weight. So that stuff just scares me. So I'm like, nah, I'm not touching that. But so I've heard, I have a friend of mine. Her name's Nicole, and she's done kickboxing for a long time, and she swears by pickle juice. She will go home. Yeah, right. That's what I said. I'm like, that's crazy. She's like,
I love pickle juice. I love pickles.
Just drink some pickle juice. Just straight up pickle juice out of the jar. And she's like, it's like the best recovery thing ever. And I'm like, there's some science there. There's like sodium and some other stuff in there.
Electrolytes and yeah.
I don't know. But she swears by it. Huh. So you're going to have to try it for me.
Do you down the rest of the jar, or do you drink just like a shot of it? Like what?
I don't know. I think we're gonna have to go through like some trial and error here. So you're gonna be the guinea pig, Alan. Let us start with a whole jar and then take it back from there and just see how it goes.
Right. Well, my unfortunately, I guess it depends on your perspective. I really don't get that sore much anymore. I really have to push it. If I get like a special trainer to push me to do things outside, because I'm already kicking my own butt.
You reach the summit, man. Like that's where it is. When you can just like train all day and not be like dying the next day. Like, that's
I like how you said all day, because all day is more like an hour, maybe 2.
Well, I mean, for me, all day was like I would do like a workout in the morning, and then I do like the gym stuff, which is like 2.5 hours. So then I'm probably like 3.5, 4 hours, and then at night I would do like either a cool down or like a run or something. So I'd wind up working out like 4 or 5 hours a day.
That's a lot. I do not have that kind of time. I would do a typical, like when I'm in training mode, I should actually show you my mirror. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are my day in the mornings are my days with coach. And so we do we do whatever we're working on, whatever he wants me to work on, whatever I need to perfect, whatever we work on all that, the technical side of things. And then every single day, so Saturdays are typically my days off. Unless we're sparring. If we're sparring, then my day off will be Sunday. But every single day I got something going on. So again, to stay with the high intensity, like Mondays and I think Thursdays, I think I have those down as I run 400s. And so on a track, that'd be once around the track. But in my neighborhood, that's basically almost to the cemetery. And so then I can run there. I know where I'm at. I give myself a minute break, and then I'll do that for either a mile, mile and a half, 2 miles, whatever I'm doing for that day. Different other days, I'll do just a long run, and I'll just sprint at the end. So the last quarter mile, half mile, whatever, but it's going to be a steady run, and that's usually a longer run. And when I say longer, it's usually about 3 to 5 miles. I don't like running more than 5 miles. And then you have the in between, and the in between is if you're familiar with track, it's called a fartlek. And no, I'm not saying something that I shouldn't.
Fartleks, but not tracks. I don't know. Not
so. In track, what a fartlek is it's interval training, and so along in the straights you're jogging. And so then around the edges, you're sprinting, jog, sprint. And so that it's interval training. And so
how did they get the name?
I think it's a German thing.
And then it just stuck like we did.
Weird.
And it's hilarious. And L-E-K, not L-I-C-K. It's not fartlek, it's
Why?
Right?
Why?
Right? But then now we can have this conversation and people be like, what's a fartlek? And be like, listen to this guy. And
we're sharing fartleks with everyone. Can we get a hashtag fartlek on this one?
Hashtag fartlek, baby. And then I'll also, so I live on a hill, like a gradual hill, and then I'll also do sprints where I'll sprint up that hill. I'll do that. I'll do 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever I'm doing that day.
Do you do any like calisthenics, like pull-ups and that kind of shit?
Yep. So I have what I call my ups, which are push, pull, and sit. So I got sit-ups, pull-ups, push-ups, and I'll have a certain amount that I'll do, and that'll be one set, and then I'll either change it up. I'll do 1 set, 2 sets, 3 sets, 4 sets, whatever, and yeah, go from there. It's usually I'll do 5 pull-ups, do 25 push-ups. I'll do 50 of some type of sit-up type, or at least my core in some fashion. Then I'll do 5 more pull-ups, 25 more push-ups, 50 more with the with the sit-ups or some kind of core workout, and then 5 more pull-ups. That's 1 set. And
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so you have to. That's like, these are your weapons, and so
my grip strength would just run out. I'd be doing trying to do the pull-ups, and suddenly I'm just like, oh no. And what do you think? Do you prefer? Should you be doing a monkey paw grip over there, or do you bring the thumb under? What do you think?
It depends on what part of your back you're trying to work. It's
good answer.
The further out you get your arms, the further out you get your hands, the harder it's going to be, and different. It's going to work different parts of your back. And so then the closer you bring in your grip, the easier it's going to get. And then if you switch to a chin up, that's your easiest pull up. That's your should be your easiest pull up. And so I have one of those door jam guys, and so I got a wide grip. And I got like a beer bottle grip or whatever these would be called. And yeah, those are, I just kind of switch between those. And but I try to keep it. I try to keep it wide. Yeah, try to keep it wide. Yeah. Oh, it's hard. It's hard, and there are days that I do not want to do it, but those are the days that you have to do it.
Those are actually my roundabout favorite days, because I remember getting off of work, being tired, and I'm like, is this guy going to be at the gym? I don't want to get my ass kicked again. Or I don't know, just coming up with every excuse that I could, be like, I just don't want to go in today. Yeah,
you can take the day off.
And then I'm like, no, that's not what this is. For me, it was I was conquering some fear. So it was if you're feeling fear, you're in the right place. So go there, just go.
Yeah.
So I would make myself go, and every single time I did it, I was so glad I did. I left feeling so darn good.
So now extend that feeling into a fight. And that's all it is. I'm actually surprised you haven't had a fight.
Oh man, honestly, I need to do some more one-on-one coaching. It's really just come down to money, being able to. And I've got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, so kids came into the picture right as I stopped training. For the kids, you started training up, but man, my goal has always been to do just one, amateur fight, whether it's kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA. I'm not sure that I want to do boxing just because it's not my premier skill set. But
sure,
I don't know. It just feels like something I want to have. I want to, that's something I will have done, and it will be in the record forever. I can look back and say, when I was a young man, I was in a, I don't know. There's something kind of cool about that. I fought in a fight once.
Yeah. After my first 2 fights, I walked home with a 40-pound belt. I'm like, what? And it was a tournament. It was a tournament up there in Michigan, and they actually have that tournament in 2 weeks. So not this weekend, but the next weekend. I would be in that, but my wife is actually running, and so I'm gonna, she supports me with a lot, so I want to support her with that. So I had to miss that, and also my fight is 6 days after that. So, I would have made it. I would have been able to make it work, but I'm supporting my wife, so.
No, that's awesome, and you can't do it without support. Sorry.
Oh my, yeah, and she's my number 1 fan, and yeah, she's absolutely amazing, and that's what it's all about. Because if you don't have that support system, it's really difficult to do this on your own.
It gets a million times more difficult. Like it's darn near impossible. But yeah, if you have the right support people, like it's just a must. I mean, go back to like a Conor McGregor. Like he talks about his, his girlfriend at the time. Like he was a plumber. He stopped plumbing. She was bringing it, but they didn't change their style. Like he was still having to eat really well so he could do all these things. Like they put the investment in. And I mean, he came out on top. Not everyone does, but
paid off just a little bit.
Yeah, just a smidge.
So
Anshuman.
I have a few questions to ask Alan.
All right, shoot.
So my first question is, like, how can Peoria itself support our local fighters and gyms better, in your opinion?
Oh wow. I would just so this is one of the reasons why I really like my coach, Michael Price. He really is trying to bring boxing back to Peoria, and that's what he got. He got the portable ring, and so that's what we're going to be fighting on. Moving forward, this isn't going to be the only, fight that he's going to have. This is going to be readily available, whether anybody from my gym is fighting in it or not. He's got the ring, and so I would say just showing up and showing your support. If there's something going on, like we have a fight at the Civic Center. It's the Civic Center. When I tell people that, they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "It's like Exhibit Room B, but
No, Exhibit Hall B is dope. I've been scouting this place out for forever. And like when I talked to Michael and he told me, I was like, oh, he's either getting Exhibit Hall A or B, but either way, he's doing a good job. And then and even like the price, $20 to get into a boxing match at the Civic Center. Oh, dude, that's amazing.
Exactly. And so why not showcase some local fighters? We're fighting in a legal, safe way, and so then hopefully it'll get exposed to the younger generations. They see what's going on. They see maybe they see someone they really like, or they see someone knock somebody else out, and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to be able to do something like that. And that's good. That's healthy. Like we're guys. We have it out of us, and so what better way than to beat the hell out of each other? I really like the whole warrior mindset. Like I definitely feel like there are certain people that are supposed to be warriors, and there's some people that are supposed to be more protectors, or there's most thinkers, philosophers, whatever you want to call it. But there are just some people that are more fit to do this kind of stuff than not.
See, and I'm a little bit on the other side. I think literally anybody can go in and be a warrior. Because like when I look at myself, like I mean, when I started there, I was like, 135 pounds. Like I put on, 25 pounds of muscle while I was working there. Sure. Like, I would have been the guy that you would have said he would never be a warrior. That's what people would tell me. Sure. So to be able to go into a gym and hang with those people, like, I want to be able to spread the message of what athleticism can do, and what just challenging yourself in these unique ways. Like, the idea of me going into a gym and beating up on somebody, like every time I punched somebody in the face, I said sorry because I felt so bad. Like I really like I didn't want to hurt people. Like I just wanted to have a good time. And part of having that good time was punching them in the face, and it was like, ah. But then like I found like these just like little drills, man. Like these drills would stick in my head, and I would just knock them out just all day long until I mastered that drill, and then I would get the next one, and then I don't know, man. I just want to share that with people because I found it so transformative and confidence boosting.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I didn't want to say that there are some people that can't or shouldn't, or I'm not saying anything like that. Like, absolutely, if someone is typically what they would consider a thinker, and they get themselves into fighting and they find out that they are a fighter, that can be one of the most dangerous fighters there are. Because if you know how to use this and these, that's
Israel Adonizé, like
exactly. Yeah. You got your next Izzy out there. Your Adesanyas, your Peredas, your all these individuals that they Leon Edwards, like he was getting absolutely dominated in that last fight, but he noticed that there was a certain thing that he would do, and he dropped, and then Usman did it, and whack, and just kicked him at the right time, and bam, it's just that quick.
Oh, that's right. That was the body kick, wasn't it?
I think it was in the head.
Was it the head kick? Oh, I'm flashing back to something where somebody landed this like mean body kick to the liver, and it just like they were standing, and then they went, oh, and then just went down to the ground.
Ryan Garcia got liver shot by Tank Davis pretty bad, and he was standing there, and then he went back down, and it's like,
what the hell happened to Ryan Garcia?
Ryan Garcia, like weak, has never been hit in the liver.
No, dude, it is debilitating. Like it's like a lightning rod just boom, throughout your entire body, and you're just like, oh, and like you just don't know what to do. Like,
how do I live now? How do I live? Am I gonna live? I don't think I'm gonna live.
This is my new life. This is what I'm doing forever now. I'm just gonna feel like this.
Pain is just a part of me now.
Well, like so for me too, like when I first started out, like I found that like that pain bit was a little difficult to get over on some of the equipment. Like I remember kicking into a bag and just hurting my foot every time I was kicking the hard spot in the bag. Like, how do you get people over that hump? Those first like 6 months where it's just brutal.
I think honestly, I think people have to have some type of either obsession or insanity or something. They have to have something pushing them.
It's why are you here? Yeah, that's a good point.
Exactly. And so like for me, it was health. It was like, you need to get healthier. You need to get healthier. You want to learn some kind of skill, here you go. Okay, you're starting to learn it. And now, because of how athletic I am, I was able to transform it into doing what I want to do. And so I was getting my butt kicked left and right, but I made it a point to work on it and to get better. And so I don't get hit nearly as much. I still get hit a lot, but yeah, it's working on those certain things that, like coach can see, or just anybody else in the gym can see. Before I went to the tournament, the week before, I had some guys from PAC over there, and they were like, you're keeping your right down way too much. You're gonna catch a nasty left hook, and so then during the fight, I just made sure that I could see the top of my glove. I was always going to be something like that. And and so it's having the right kinds of people around you, because there are definitely gym bullies out there, and those gym bullies, they will not care about punching you in the face. And it sounds like you're the opposite of one of those, is that you're very caring, that you actually you don't want to hurt somebody, but we still want to learn, but hey, I'm not trying to hurt you here. And so you got to find that healthy medium. And so having the right people in my gym, like that third fight that I went to, my buddy Randall, he's in the gym with me. Him and I, we were running together and we were working out together. He never did any of that stuff before. Well, maybe if he did, he didn't do it nearly as much as he needed to. But we got him in shape. And he beat that dude's butt. And from what I understand, he hasn't even stepped back in the ring, the other guy. Oh. And and some guy from St. Louis, and I mean that was by far his hardest match. But that was he got a W. He got a W from that fight. And would he have gotten it without doing the training with me? Maybe. I don't know, but it definitely helped him having a little bit extra, that extra push. Somebody else like saying, hey, let's go. Let's do this. Because if we're not.
The Goku to his Vegeta.
Sure. I don't get that reference, but yeah.
You should be about that age. Oh, this guy.
I'm 44, man.
Let's see. That would. Oh, okay, I guess you would have been.
I'm an '80s baby. I was 1980.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I'm GI Joe. I'm Transformers. I'm Thundercats. Oh.
Oh yeah.
Give me sight beyond sight. Okay, I'm going on the Thundercats more. But then like X-Men, the animated.
Oh, dude, the OG one, man. Like,
yeah. And did you see Amazon? They were giving, or I think it's Disney actually is giving them a reboot.
Yeah,
it's X-Men 97. I'm like, what? And
yeah, it's supposed to be really good. I haven't heard it yet, but I heard one of the stipulations are like, has to be all the same characters, like voice actors, and you got to use the same music from the OG. I'm like, exactly, dude. Oh,
oh yeah. But yeah, and so people get their inspiration from wherever they're going to get their inspiration. But I truly feel like you have to have something pushing you, and because that's when you have those tough days. When you're like, oh my gosh, and then you think about it like, I'm going to be in a fight. If I don't get out and do this, I'm going to get embarrassed in front of my friends, my family, all that, or whatever.
Yeah, like that was the other thing. I'm like, am I going to be that guy? Am I going to be the guy who gets out there? Am I going to freeze? Am I just going to make a dumb mistake in the first 10 seconds of the bout and get obliterated and become a high right wheel for somebody else? Like, oh man,
that's part of it. That is part of it, and so be you sign up for violence, you get violence.
I kind of have to go back to Mike Bisping again, because like he had like one of the worst knockouts I'd ever seen in my life, and then a year later he's UFC champ. So it's like,
oh yeah, and from what I understand, he's blind in one of his eyes.
Yes, like, and he is the best shit talker. I love listening to him just light people up. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, that's amazing. There's oh yeah, I need both my eyes first of all, and then just to be that type of a fighter with that kind of a disability is insane.
That could be kind of a fun thing. We should have like a Bisping day where everybody wears an eye patch over the right side,
and you have to talk like a pirate.
No, we all have to talk like Bisping. Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah. I think it was more Australian, but I'll get it.
Yeah, I'm not good with accents. Yeah, my wife's gonna start laughing at me.
No, like I think that would be really interesting because like you could really like feel the advantage and really the disadvantage you'd have, like just not having that, like just
the depth perception alone. You're like, how does this even work?
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to arrange that on Truman. I want to do a Bisping day.
Oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious.
Let's call Michael, see if he's down. If Michael won't do it, let's call Peoria Muay Thai.
So to more explain who we are as an organization, the Peoria Martial Arts Forum, one of the things we are trying to do is basically solve the problems you mentioned. That we have such a great fighting community here, yet no one ever talks about it, and it's barely mentioned in the news. Usually our fighters go to Chicago, St. Louis, Indiana, Iowa, or other places to fight. Yet there's no glory. Like, not everyone has the money to actually go these, like, drive out of town. Like, so why don't we have any more tournaments or bouts here or events?
Well, so that's where I'm hoping that Mike Price is going to change a lot of that. He's putting, he's never put on. Well, I don't know if he's ever put one on before, but he got this ring now, and this is going to be the first one, and so now we're going to have one, and then who knows, we might have another one in a few more months after that, because it's going to be big. And I have a bunch of people that cannot wait to watch me fight. I got a good buddy who's coming up from Florida to watch me, and he told me, you better either knock this dude out or get knocked the F out, because he's like, if it goes to decision, I'm not hanging out with you for the rest of the weekend. And I'm like, okay,
Well, that's something I've thought about, a lot for guys that are, going out into the ring. It's like, really, what is it really about? Because like when you're walking out to the ring, like it's about your audience. Like it's about you connecting with your audience and helping entertain them, because that's ultimately what they're here. They're here to be entertained. And then once you get in the ring, once you step foot in that ring, that audience is gone. Like they're not there. You focus in and you showcase every piece of skill set that you have to try to win that fight.
Yep. And That's honestly, I think something that does kind of separate me out from the other fighters is I have 40 years under my belt in just life experience, period. And I've played hockey my whole life, played soccer. I can speak in front of large audiences with no problems. And so I have a lot of the characteristics for someone that can block that stuff out already. And so I truly like if it's a room full of 1,000 people, that might be a little bit different. But in the rooms that I've been in, there's been 1, 2, 300 people in there. It's me and that guy. It is me and that guy, and obviously the ref. I guess I got to listen to that guy too.
But it'd be interesting to see how the Civic Center will differ from some of your other bouts that you've had.
Yeah, because it's going to be a packed house, and I'm supposed to be the third bout. And usually when you go to those amateur events, like the one in St. Louis, when it was supposed to start at like 7:00. By the time it actually started, I think it was like almost 8. And I was bout number like 20 something. Like,
yeah, Missouri. I forget. They've got some different rules down there.
Yeah. And so I didn't fight until 11:45 and PM.
I was gonna say at night.
Yeah, because it started at like 7 or whatever, but it actually didn't start until about 8, and then I'm the 20th fight or whatever. To kind of go into your answer there, Ashman, I'm gonna switch it back over to what we can do. I think social media can really make a difference if there's maybe if like this podcast. If there's a certain site on Facebook, Peoria, I know that there's like a Peoria Fight Club, but that's more like backyard type stuff. But if there's like, Peoria actual fighting, where it's, boxing, kickboxing, legit, fighting of some sort, Instagram, if we had something on, I don't know, maybe even Snapchat or Twitter or, whatever, I think that's going to help unify. So if I have a fight out of town, people can tune into that and watch me fight on there. Because usually they'll have some kind of, live provider that you have to pay for to then you can watch the fight for free or whatever. And they're usually a cluster F. They don't know how to do things, or that it's not set up properly or whatever. But those tried and true social medias, like one page on Facebook or a certain page on Instagram that you can rely on, one that's always going to be there. And if we're showcasing those individuals, and I don't want to say, necessarily keeping out followers that aren't from Peoria, but like we want to try to keep it from people in Central Illinois if possible. But if we got followers in Florida, why the heck wouldn't we accept that too? So I would say probably the socials in some sort would help bring a lot of attention to this. And I'm going to do whatever I can to, on the boxing side of things, to bring attention to it.
Well, I'll tell you, Cedric with Widecast Media has put in he's put in a tremendous amount of effort into this project and to do exactly what you're talking about.
Sweet.
So we have, the PeoriaMartialArtsForum.com. We're going to be building our fight calendars to be able to see all the local and really all the fights that are happening in the state of Illinois and anybody else that's under our branding. So if you have any other core fitnesses or anybody that's associated with like Michael Price or, KOK Boxing or, some of these other guys, we're helping to start showcasing. We're just the beginning. We're just a couple of guys that are, we're fight enthusiasts. We love this stuff, and we felt that there was a better way to showcase this to Central Illinois to make it more palatable. I think that you're 100% on the nose with all those things. People need a place that they can go and get trusted information and get consistent information. And to your point, production value. When you have the same production crew that's going to, all of the same fights, you're going to have a very different experience than when I've dealt with this before with some other production crews and out of state. a lot of times it's their first time doing it or the first time working with that promotion.
Right.
So it's just there's a lot of things that can go wrong. It's technology. It's an event, and they say what can go wrong will go wrong.
Absolutely. Yep.
But yeah, myself, Anshuman, Cedric, the Peoria Martial Arts Forum, we're all here to to help elevate fighters and put a spotlight on them in all the right ways. Anshuman, do you have any other questions?
No.
Oh, I could have sworn he had it.
Right to the point.
My man. I mean, that's everything I have for you today, Alan. Anything else you'd like to share with the?
There's one last thing I have to mention.
He does. Let's go.
So we do have. So YCast does have a Facebook page. So we share our content on that for the Peoria Martial Arts Forum. So for those who are listening, you can share that and spread the word about this.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys want to send me all the links or anything that you guys have, so then I can follow as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. And so we're going to be posting the podcast there and some other things there, other content that we find, and really just any relatable sports and fighting content.
Yeah, excellent. And so I would probably want to say thank you to you guys. I really appreciate you guys making the effort and doing something like this and putting all those things out there. Want to thank my friends and family, everybody who's supporting me. It's especially my wife. I'm not going to be. I would not be able to do this without her. But then everybody else that's out there that's helping me is they just mean the world to me. And so yeah, I'm doing it to stay healthy, even though I'm getting punched in the head.
Well, hey man, I'm excited. I'm going to be there on the 26th, so I'll be right there. So I'm going to be really excited to watch your bout.
Excellent, thank you, Philip. I really appreciate it. Nashman, thank you. Thank you so much for texting back and forth and making sure you're staying on me with everything. So.
Well, thank you, Alan, for being here. So it's Alan Bensing fighting July 26th. We will be updating our Facebook page with his fighting or whoever the bout is going to be against. We've had some matchmaking stuff there. So check the Facebook page for updates. Again, this 26th, Michael Price with Core Fitness. What's the show called? Midwest Showdown?
Yep, that sounds right.
Yep, Midwest Showdown. So you can also find those details on the Facebook page if you guys want to buy tickets. I think we can get tickets now, right?
It's I know Coach was double checking with the Civic Center, but yeah, they should be up any time if they're not up already.
Yeah, so as soon as we find out the link for purchasing tickets, they'll be on the Facebook page as well. So keep an eye out for that.
Yeah,
awesome. Thank you for being here.
If anybody wants a table, make sure that they contact, let us know, because that can be groups of like 10 people. And that might be able to, get people a little bit closer. I think you get like waitress type service also. I think it's like $450 or something like that for a table. But yeah, let us know, because those are getting gobbled up pretty quick.
So yeah, table, or even if you want to be a sponsor of the event or a specific fighter, please reach out to the Peoria Martial Arts Forum and we can get you in contact with the appropriate people.
There we go. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great one. We'll see you on the 26th.